Congratulations, Marcela, Big Break Atlantis champion. Has it sunk in? How do you feel these days, knowing that so many try and so many fail, and you succeeded? Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, Gail. It has sunk in. It has sunk in now because I can share it with everybody. It was kind of hard to watch it on TV and know the results and, not being able to share it. Now that I can, it actually feels good.
I bet it does. I know. Well, this reunion you guys had in Florida, and we watched it on TV last week. By the way, you looked marvelous. It was just
Thank you.
gorgeous there. Yeah. So we saw you all get interviewed on stage, and there was all that. But you were there longer than a day. So what did you do when you were down there?
Well, it was definitely interesting. We got there a day before. We kind of shoot the entrance part of the show, and it was very nice to see all the girls again. We haven't been together since the last episode of Big Break Atlantis, and it was nice to talk to them to see how they're doing, what has been going on, after being on the show, and most of the girls have been doing good. Some of them are playing golf. Now the opportunity came to them, and they're actually pursuing their dream. Others are still trying to get that support from a sponsor for them to have the opportunity to follow their dream. And I think everybody is doing well, which I was very happy about. And then we pretty much we taped the show, and it was a lot of fun. The funny part about it was that we actually got really tired after it. It seems that 2 weeks of doing the show in Atlantis, it was okay. I never saw anybody really tired, but for a day and a half, we just got really beat up for some reason. I think we lost the conditioning of having long days.
Isn't that funny? Yeah, I guess, the big break when you're actually competing, the adrenaline keeps you going. And I'm not surprised that people kind of crash afterwards. It would be, it's a long haul. It was funny. Yeah, it was funny watching it, because everybody looked pretty happy except Megan looked miserable. I mean, talking about other people not trying and not competing, I thought, why does she care? I didn't understand her point. And then poor, throws it back, and Aubrey kind of looks kind of stunned, like, oh, I don't know how to respond to that. It was a weird moment on the show.
It was. I actually didn't expect it. But, I'm one of those people that respects everybody's opinion, and that was Megan's opinion, and I respect that. To disagree or agree, that's another story. It's my opinion as well. But Megan, that's the way she's thinking about the situation, and that's respectful. And I think it was stunning for everybody, just because we got along really well on the show. There was, like you saw, there was no cat fighting or drama. It was more about the golf game and trying to do your best, and it was stunning for pretty much all the contestants in the reunion, for sure.
Yeah, well, like you said, I really don't think it affected anybody, but obviously there's something inside of her that's she's not feeling good about things, and I feel bad for that, because it's only going to eat away at her, not really going to hurt anybody else for her to feel like it. But hey, to each their own. And what can you do? Well, let's go back to the final day. The atmosphere that day. What was it like when you woke up? Breakfast with Selanee. Just give us a feeling for how the day started.
I was relaxed, but at the same time nervous. But I woke up in the morning. I'm just doing my normal routine. I started listening to the radio, dancing a little bit when I was getting ready. I like to just kind of relax before a tournament day. That was an important day for me. And breakfast with Selanee was great. We chatted a little bit. We laughed a little bit. We talked about putting a good show for the viewers, doing our best, trying to have a good match. It was great. My warm-up was actually really nice. I was hitting the ball well, like I did through the whole season, and that felt really good. It actually gave me a lot of confidence for the day, and pretty much that was it. And once I started playing, you know, I just kind of decided to keep doing what I committed to through the whole show, and that was just to pretty much enjoy the moment. You know, I accepted the situation. I accepted I was going to be nervous. The good thing was that I never thought about the results and what would it mean to win. I thought about it probably the day before. I accepted both situations. Not being the winner, not being the loser. Oh, sorry, not being the loser and being the winner. And you know, and that pretty much made me just kind of take it in a different way. So that was, I think it took a little bit off the pressure off of me to think and accept the situation no matter what. And it was very enjoyable. I enjoy it. That's probably why I performed well that day.
Well, we could see the anxiety in Selanee very early on in the show, and she probably was carrying the baggage of worrying whether she was going to win or lose. Did you notice anything in the warm up for her? Did she look a little off that day, or did she sort of start to fall apart once she really started playing for real?
No, you know, I didn't check Selanee while I was warming up, but she looked calm at breakfast. You know, the little nerves here and there, like everybody. But I thought she was ready, and she proved it through eliminations, making not many birdies. So I didn't see anything different.
Yeah, it's she's been very open about her anxiety and how the big breaks really taught her a lot. But she did obviously struggle. We saw that, and then we saw Allison go over and give her a little pep talk. When you saw that, did that affect you at all? It didn't seem to affect your game, but what were you thinking when you saw that?
You know, I actually liked that Allison went and talked to Selanee, just because maybe that was what she needed at that point. I saw her struggling through the day, and I wanted to kind of like encourage her to just let her game be. I'm a fan of Selanee just because I've known her for a long time. I know her skills. I've seen her at her best, and I've seen her at her low. And to see her through the show getting better and better, it actually made me happy for her. I was very happy, and when Allison did that, it's like, okay, somebody did it for me. You know, I couldn't approach her because I didn't know how she would feel, being that I was her opponent that day. But it was nice to see somebody encourage her and kind of, telling her it's okay, like just do your best, and that's all you can do. And Allison did a great job.
Yeah, well, that's great. It is good to see, and you're right. This is very different on this big break compared to many others where the drama and the catfighting has been so big. Well, the other thing they say about great champions is that the sympathy isn't really on the golf course. So with a great champion, Tiger always said he didn't care if he beat you; he cared about how badly he beat you. And I often wondered during those 14 holes, did you ever consider letting up a little bit on Selanee and maybe not beating her by so much?
I actually just play my game. I play my game. I wasn't thinking much about if I was beating Selanee for by a lot of holes. I was thinking more about my game. Of course, I want her to light it up because I know she could play it well. She just had an off day, but I never thought about just kind of, beating her that much. I was thinking more about my game and actually putting on a good show for the viewers and see what I can do now that we were playing like real golf,
So was there anything that happened during the game that we didn't get to see on TV that you wanted to share that happened?
Not really. I think the producers did really well to show the whole day. Pretty much that was it. I was kind of chatty with the camera that was riding with me. I sometimes I just chat to just kind of have my little vacation between shots, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I kind of laugh a lot and joke a little bit here and there, and that kept me relaxed.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you certainly looked it, and you looked like a true champion out there. It was such a pleasure to watch you. So the day was over. You won. Anything special happened at the nighttime? Did you guys get to party, celebrate?
It was a long day for Selanee and I. We finished, playing the holes, and then we went to the hotel and pretty much had long interviews that day. While the girls went and had dinner, the people at Atlantis actually did a great job in arranging a dinner for us, and we had a great time. We after Selanee and I finished the interviews, we actually joined the girls, and we had a good night. We chatted a little bit over dinner, and then we did go dancing. So that was fun.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. It was fun. That was fun. We relaxed a little bit, and that was about it.
Yeah. Then you're off the next day, right? It's really. It really ends quite abruptly from what I remember talking to others. It's such a big deal, and then boom, it's over, and you're gone. Everybody leaves.
Yeah, it was kind of funny because we were joking with the audio guys, tomorrow we got to keep talking to ourselves, out loud, thinking that we have a mic, and we're going to miss that mic in our chest. So it was different. It was definitely different just to kind of get back to reality and how life was, just because you get so used to seeing all the crew and the people at Atlantis, and it was fun. I had a great time. I met a great people. I met a lot of good guys out there and gals of the production, and I was blessed. I was blessed to be part of that show, and it was a great time.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Kingsmill is just around the corner. I mean, September is coming up pretty fast. So what are you doing to prepare for that?
I'll be playing the rest of the semester tour. We have 4 events, and then we have 2 weeks off. In those 2 weeks off, I have Kingsmill the second week. I'll be working a lot short game and 100 yards in. I think that's pretty much the difference between a player from the Symetra Tour and a player from LPGA. Their 100 yards in is really tight, and that's where they save their pars or make their birdies. So I'll be working hard on that, and I'm trying to see also what caddy I get for that event. I want somebody experienced, somebody that actually knows me a little bit, clicks with my personality, and I'm searching for it. I have talked to several of the guys and girls, and we'll see who I team up with. I think that's very important, especially with the big opportunity that I have ahead.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, you're smart to do that. Yeah, well, it's been such a pleasure talking to you, Marcela. I'm so happy for you, and I'll be watching Kingsmill very carefully, and be wishing you on. Any closing remarks you want to make before we sign off?
Well, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank you, especially for taking the time to do this interviews, to your readers as well, and all the people that actually watch the show and enjoy it. It was a pleasure for me. It was an honor to be part of it, and I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I did.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, one of the best. So anyway, Marcela, best of luck at Kingsmill. Keep in touch, and it's been a real pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and I look forward to talk to you in the near future.
Yes, absolutely. All righty. Bye for now. Thanks, Marcela.
Adios. Bye.